The FBI just caught a hacker running a VPN through 3 countries. The VPN worked just like it was supposed to. Windows gave him up anyway. In April 2026, a 19-year-old is stopped at Helsinki Airport on Interpol Red Notice, carrying 2 terabyte drives and a ticket to Japan. In July 2026, US prosecutors unsealed a complaint naming him as an alleged Scatter Spider member over a May 2025 breach of a US luxury jewelry retailer. $8 million of demand ransom refused. Investigators subpoenaed the tunneling service used in the attack. It traces back to a VPN-proxy IP. Dead end. VPN proxies are supposed to do that. Then, Microsoft's records show one specific Windows device visited that signup page in the same minute. GDID is a Global Device Identifier, a 64-bit number assigned by Microsoft Server when your PC registers with a Microsoft account. Windows never computes it from your hardware. It asks login.live.com and stores whatever string comes back. It just sits in your registry in plain text. One line from PowerShell reads it, no admin rights needed. It survives Windows updates, rotates on a clean reinstall, but if you sign back into that same account and Microsoft has any activation history through OneDrive, it will connect the old to the new. Your VPN changes your exit IP? Doesn't do anything. Incognito mode? Nothing. Clearing your cookies? Nothing. The affidavit lines that device's IP history against Snapchat, Apple, Facebook, and game logins across 4 countries over 8 months. The identifier is the constant that everything else gets joined against. What doesn't work? Turning off telemetry. It rides a different service chain. This advice is everywhere and it's wrong. Deleting the registry key. It comes back identical from the server the second you sign back into Microsoft. Spoofing it. Your device certificate still holds the real value. Windows overwrites your edit within minutes. Reinstalling. You get a new number, but as soon as you log in, start using your stuff, it'll link it right back. There are a few things that work, but they all carry a cost. Disabling connected device platform and delivery optimization services, then black hole their endpoints. Leave sign-in alone so the account still works, but this has its own issues. Phone link and continue on PC. Cloud clipboard, nearby sharing, update peer caching. That's what you give up. It doesn't retract anything already sitting on Microsoft servers. And you can do a DNS deny. And that also has its own issue of not allowing any Microsoft services at all to work on your system. Half measures buy you almost nothing here. And you either accept the Microsoft ecosystem knowingly, or you leave it. Buying a VPN and feeling covered is an option that no longer exists. Now, the real question is, should you be upset about this? What you can do. You can concede first, costs you nothing, and it buys you the whole room. Persistent device identity is defensible. Activation, licensing, fraud prevention, and account recovery all need it. Apple and Google both hold their own equivalents. If someone tries to log into your bank from a new machine, you do want the system to notice. But there are real grievances with this. There's no consent screen and no reset. Apple's advertising identifier requires a prompt and has a visible reset. Android works the same way. GDID has neither of those. The whole industry converged on a persistent ID needs a user-facing control. And Microsoft skips that step for 1.6 billion people. It is technically disclosed, but it's functionally hidden. One sentence in an Azure monitor reference table, written for Internet IP admins pulling update reports. That is technically a disclosure as a legal artifact, rather than as a communication. The sharpest fact, and nobody's covering this. Per the complaint, Microsoft had already flagged this suspect to the FBI once before, in an October 2024 criminal referral describing online services telemetry. That is, Microsoft running correlation on its own device graph and taking findings to law enforcement before any subpoena here. Complying with legal process and proactively surfacing findings are 2 completely different postures. The person caught here is accused of serious crimes, and nobody is arguing that the wrong person got arrested. That credibility is free. But I don't know that I'm that 1984 about having Big Brother and any other brother watching me constantly through every protection that I put forward. What we think Microsoft should do is disclose it during setup in plain language on the same screen where you sign in. Ship a reset button that rotates the identifier without breaking activation, and split the identifier. One number handling licensing while also serving as a join key for browsing and IP history is the real design flaw. Now, if you actually need unlinkability, this is important. Journalism, activism, and domestic abuse situations are all valid uses for this, among other things. Windows is the wrong tool for this, and no commercial VPN can fix that. A few housekeeping things to clean up. This is not 128-bit. It is a 64-bit system, and it's not generated from your hardware or serial numbers. Both halves of this viral claim are false. The value in the complaint is 64-bit, and the court records itself says a reinstall produces a new one, which rules out a hardware hash. Microsoft is not tracking your browsing here that we know of. The browsing records in this case come through Edge with enhanced diagnostics enabled. That is a separate setting, and this is not new. This has been going on for several years. What is new is that the court filing forced it into the public view. No regulator has opened a formal investigation as of this writing. Researchers are calling for one. The identifier is the constant that everything else gets joined against. A VPN changes the scenery, but it does not change the thing being tracked.